It was just another bitterly cold morning in Ontario when it all happened. The kind of morning where frost clung to every window, and even the air felt heavy with silence. Inside the auto shop on Queen Street, the heater struggled to keep the chill out as the crew shuffled in for the day's work. Among them was Jacob, a 29-year-old mechanic with oil-stained hands and a heart far cleaner than most. He wasn't the kind to talk much, but people noticed the way he always stayed late when someone couldn't pay, or how he fixed a stranger's flat tire without asking for a dime. That morning, just as he was tightening bolts under a customer's van, a fragile knock came from the shop's glass door. Outside stood an elderly woman, maybe in her 70s, bundled in layers that still couldn't hide the way she trembled in the cold. Her name was Mrs. Anderson. She spoke gently, with a voice softened by age and kindness. Her old sedan had broken down a few blocks away. She said she didn't have much money, but asked if someone could take a quick look. She needed to pick up her medication and groceries before the pharmacy closed. Her words trembled with more than just cold. Jacob didn't even think twice. He wiped his hands, pulled off his gloves, and grabbed his jacket. "I'll help her," he told the front desk. "Back in 10. His boss, Carl, spotted him walking out with the woman and muttered something under his breath, watching from the office window. Jacob found the car. It was barely running, wheezing like an old man on his last breath. He knelt beside it, got to work with numb fingers, and after 20 minutes managed to get it going again. The old woman teared up when the engine turned over. "God bless you," she said, holding his arm. "You have no idea what this means to me." When Jacob got back, he was smiling. He didn't expect applause. He just felt good. But what met him wasn't gratitude. It was fury. Carl stormed out of the office, red-faced and yelling loud enough for the whole shop to stop what they were doing. "You think this is a charity?" he snapped. "You left a paying job mid-repair to help someone who can't even afford spark plugs?" Jacob tried to explain, but the boss cut him off. "You're fired! Grab your stuff!" The shop went quiet. No one dared speak. Jacob didn't argue. He simply nodded, wiped his hands, and walked out. It was humiliating, but he believed he did the right thing. Outside, snow had started to fall. He didn't know what he'd tell his wife, how he'd pay rent, or what his next move was. But he didn't regret helping her. Less than 10 minutes later, Carl's phone rang. The voice on the other end was firm but polite. "Hi, I'm Olivia Anderson, Director of Operations at Hillridge Seniors Foundation." Carl frowned, confused. "I was just calling to thank one of your employees. A young man helped my mother this morning with her car. She lives alone. She could have fallen or frozen out there. I'd like to commend him publicly." Carl's throat went dry. He stumbled over his words, trying to piece it together. "She said he refused money," Olivia added. "Said he was just doing what's right. That's rare these days." Carl stammered. "Actually, he's no longer with us." There was a pause, a long one. "Well, that's a shame," Olivia said sharply, "because we were looking to partner with a garage to maintain our senior transport fleet. It would have meant a monthly contract, but I can't in good conscience partner with someone who doesn't value kindness." The line went dead. Carl sat in stunned silence, staring at the phone. What had he just done? The rest of the day he was quieter than usual. At closing time, he left a voicemail on Jacob's phone. "I made a mistake," he said, voice low. "You're a better man than I am. I hope you'll come back." But Jacob never returned that call. Instead, a few weeks later, a new garage opened up 2 blocks away. Heart and Hand Auto, the sign read. Jacob ran it with his brother and a small crew who believed in doing the right thing, even when no one was watching. The community came pouring in. Seniors, single moms, students, not because of ads, but because word had spread. People remembered the mechanic who helped a helpless woman on a cold morning. Carl's business? It started to slow. The phones rang less. His workers noticed how quiet the shop had become. Sometimes losing something teaches you more than having it ever did. And as for Jacob, he never became rich, but he never lacked peace. He built something better than a paycheck. He built trust. And in a cold world, that was more valuable than gold.